I call Shaun Davies.
Deputy Speaker, I'd like to thank my honourable friend for Edinburgh South West for bringing forward this bill. He's channelled his personal experience and that of his family to produce a vital piece of legislation. And I hope he will succeed in driving change on this issue, and he certainly has my support and all members of the House support. And it's on days like this that I often call members of Parliament from right across the House, honourable friends rather than honourable members, because this is a cause that certainly does unite us. And I know from listening to and reading the emails I've had from Telford constituents that they are fully behind this bill too. I would like to join my honourable friends who have paid tribute to many of those people today who have told the stories of their loved ones in their own families and their own communities. They are far braver than I. But what I will say is that next Thursday I will be a bearer at a funeral for a very special woman in my life who I am not quite as brave to be able to tell her story today, but maybe one day I will. I've heard about the devastating impacts from a number of constituents who have contacted me to share their stories. I've heard from one constituent about the mother of his 3 teenage children in her 40s who's battling with terminal pancreatic cancer after a late diagnosis. Among those stories, a familiar theme arose. Conditions like this cancer are being diagnosed too late, with no treatment available, giving my constituents' loved ones just months to live. I focus on this particular cancer because it is an example of the scandal that is rare cancer treatment. It's classed as a rare cancer by this bill because it affects less than 1 person in every 2,000. Every year, 1 in every 6,000 people is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and half of those will die, sadly, within 3 months. There are roughly 107,000 people in Telford in my constituency, which means that 18 of my constituents each and every year will be diagnosed with this awful cancer, and 9 of them will die within 3 months of being diagnosed. It's absolutely shocking. And I owe it to those 18 people in my constituency to be in this chamber today, speaking up and asking for and demanding for drastic change to take place. It's easy to see how this problem can arise, though it doesn't make it any less galling. In a healthcare system under strain, which is particularly failing cancer patients, as of last year, UK cancer survival rates were 25 years behind some other European countries. And you can see how decision makers might be faced with Sophie's choice, the unendable task of prioritising cancer treatments. When resources are scarce, you prioritise the treatments that will save the most people, but that's no consolation to the 47% of cancer patients in the UK whose cancers are rare and less common. An even more damning statistic is that sufferers from rare and less common cancers make up the majority of cancer deaths, as we've heard today, 55%. It's clear that this is not sustainable or fair or just, and we can't let one single cancer patient slip through the cracks of our healthcare service, let alone 90,000 people each and every year. All too often, we've heard today, people in my constituency and across the country will rally around to raise money for their loved ones, their children, to be sent to receive treatment. And on one level, that is amazing to see. But on another, it's so depressing that has to be done in order to access this life-saving treatment. To sum up, Madam Deputy Speaker, this bill is about acknowledging that we can do better. The treatment of rare cancer patients is a scandal, not in the sense that any one individual is liable or culpable, but because the system as a whole has let tens of thousands of cancer patients down. To the healthcare and research sectors, we say you must do better, and we want you to do better, and we will work alongside you to do better, and this bill is one welcome first step in doing that. I urge the government to be bold. We can do a lot as this cohort of members of Parliament on this agenda and this cohort of government ministers. We talk a lot in this place about hope and change. Well, goodness me, what other better example is there than this bill to provide hope and change to millions of people across our country? Let's make cancer history.
Yeah.